तू चलता चल तू चलता चल तू चलता चल तू बढ़ता
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new episode of Making Sense. Today we have Colonel Serene with us. Colonel Serene has served for almost 35 years in the infantry, both in Gorkha and Punjab Regiment. He was an instructor in NDA and IMA as captain and colonel, respectively. He was Gallantry Award winner in Kashmir, has served in deserts, mountains, and high altitude areas. He has commanded unit during Operation Parakram as well. Colonel Serene is now retired, plays golf, and is taking life easy. Thank you so much for being with us, sir, and taking out time.
A pleasure. Always a pleasure.
So, sir, to start with, I would like to ask you when did you join NDA and your journey as it starts from there?
Well, I joined NDA in the year 1979. And in fact, ours was the first batch of 10 plus 2 pattern which was introduced in the country then. So the first batch actually meant, now of course the written qualification for NDA is 12th, but that time it continued to be 11th. Although I still was to prepare or appear for the 12th exam, but I didn't. So I have not appeared for the 12th exam. After 11th itself, I got selected into NDA. 79 Jan, I was there in NDA, and 81 December, we passed out from NDA, and thereafter a year in IMA, that is 82, and was commissioned in 82. In fact, I was commissioned into Gorkhas, the unit which my father was commissioned in and commanded in the 1971 Indo-Pak War. So I was, in fact, the same unit. And some of the senior officers and senior JCOs and senior NCOs and men, etc., I knew them before as a kid. And then when I joined, of course, pehle main bhaiya bulata tha, and then of course they used to salute. So that was how I joined India and became an officer in Corps Commission.
Interesting, sir. Sir, would you like to give some highlights after you got commissioned?
You see, the first posting, in fact, was in Sundarbani, which was in J&K. Now, it is such a, it's a coincidence that my first posting was that, and when I commanded my unit, subsequently as a colonel, I again commanded that same place, that was Sundarbani. Otherwise, I've had a very varied staff and instructional appointments. In fact, I've had a lot of instructional appointments. I was an instructor in NDA. I was an instructor in IMA. Then I was also an instructor in the infantry school as a lieutenant colonel. So, and then I had some staff appointments also. I did my staff college, Defense Services Staff College in Wellington, in India, not in New Zealand. And there, after a year's tenure, I went as an independent DQ in one of the sectors in the northern part of the country. After that, of course, I commanded my unit. I commanded also in a time which was Op Parakram. I wonder if you heard of this Op Parakram. It was one of those things when we almost went into an offensive mode against our neighbors, Pakistan. So it was a total warlike situation then. And we had, it was totally warlike. We had there in the border, we made into bunkers, fighting trenches and all, so everything as we were trained. And finally, that is the beauty of it. Finally, we came to see the culmination or the fruition of our training, what exactly we were taught and how to do that in warlike scenario. So that was good. In between, as a major, I also had a tenure in the Rashtriya Rifles. That was again first earlier in the Northeast, and then during this thing where Kargil had taken place, then the units which were there in the Northeast, we came to the North to relieve certain units which had gone for Kargil. So there, of course, we had some actions, some good actions, and there I won a Gallantry Award also. We killed 3 militants. And that's again a part of the story, which was so intentional and so nice. And you look back, of course, that time we were all, it was part of those scenarios where you see in movies what happens in that LOC Kargil and wo kya Josh hai wala. There was some movie jo aaya tha na, Sid ka, not Sid. So those kind of things were actually saw that. So when you see these kind of movies, also when the children talk about it, it looks, you start reliving.
So, since you mentioned about being an instructor at NDA and IMA, what do you feel is the difference and any difficulty you faced as an instructor?
Well, there was no difficulty as such, but there's a vast difference. NDA, remember, the students they come, uh, the students come after doing their 12th, so they are relatively younger. Whereas IMA, the gentleman cadets they come or they become a gentleman cadet after their graduation. So that difference is there. And the basic thing of being an NDA is NDA guy basically is that he's raw. Absolutely, you can mold him the way you want. He's not seen the college life, where people tend to do matar gashti. You're well aware of that. I'm not one of them. I, of course, had to be in NDA, so I don't even really know what college life is. But nevertheless, that is the basic difference. And then they have a very, very fresh mind. Again, college students, they are aware of a lot of things. And a little knowledge, as you know, at times becomes a little bit harmful also. So that difference is there. And another point is, in NDA, the training is restricted. By and large, it is restricted, and you are doing your graduation degree. It's very little that you are talking about your service. Whereas in IMA, you are not dealing with education or academics as such. You are only dealing with the military aspects. You are learning, of course, there's studies involved, but they're basically tactics, and various, all these things about military training. So that training is there along with physical training. But NDA, a lot of stress is there on physical training. So when ultimately, if you compare these two entries, I mean, there's not much difference if you really ask me. I will not say that this guy will, next NDA will definitely become a brigadier or a general or something like that. The point is not that. The point is, an ex-NDA person invariably would be, in matters of fitness, would be slightly more fitter than the other guy. Not all, but most of them, yes. Basically because they've had 3 years more than the other one. Otherwise, as such, there is not much of a difference if you really ask me. So NDA military training, they do in the 6th term, what the IMA GCs, they do in the 1st term. Are you getting my point? So there are 3 terms in IMA and 6 terms in NDA. So 6th term in NDA guy, final term, he does that training, which the IMA chap is doing it in his 1st term. So when an NDA guy passes out and goes to IMA, he goes directly to the 2nd term because he would have done that 1st term training in NDA itself.
I see. I was not aware about this.
But otherwise, the direct entries, the candidates who are appearing for, say, the CDS exam, once they go there as gentlemen cadets, they start from 1st term. So they do 1st, 2nd, and 3rd terms. Whereas a NDA guy, he goes straight away in the 2nd term and he does only 1 year, 2nd and 3rd term, before getting commissioned.
Okay. Moving on, sir, would you like to throw some light on Operation Parakram? Since you mentioned a little about it, but yeah, we would like to know a little more about.
Okay, it's a dream for any commanding officer to. The moment I'll tell you, the moment when this information came that we are going to the border, we knew that something was amiss because, there's so much of activities take place internationally when, by and large, that you understand, okay, we are now heading towards a thing which may or may not be, kuch ho sakta hai. That is the thing, that is the mindset you're going with. So the first thing as a commanding officer is, okay, this is the time for glory. This is the time that my unit is going to do something. And this is the time I'm going to ensure kuch bhi ho jaye, chhodenge. That kind of a feeling. And jab training hoti hai na, when you're going in for training, when you're going for your op alerts and training moves and all those things, this kind of feeling doesn't come. But Op Parakram meant it's war. This is the HR, we are going inside Pakistan, that kind of things. So we went there and we established exactly as per the battle procedures, the way we were taught, and the whole thing, order, shorter, and all procedures, battle procedures commenced, and things were there laid out as it is supposed to be an actual war. And 3-4 months, keep improving our defenses, keep knowing the area, move left and right, know what your neighbors are, lay mines physically, Physically, the mines were laid because it restricted our mobility also in a way, because obviously we couldn't get into minefields. So all those things we were prepared. And finally, then, they would have, the political masters, they were able to achieve a breakthrough and there was no war as such. It was a warlike situation. But the bad part of it was later on. You would have heard of it. Some people would have heard of it. Was see the mines that were laid there. We had to take them out also. Mine was one of the battalions of the Indian Army which suffered not a single casualty while taking out mines. And we had actually laid thousands of mines in front of our area. Not a single casualty. And for that, again, I was awarded by the Army commander. And that was also something, although some people were there taking out mines, and I used to go there every third day, to try to keep the morale high. But it was not an easy thing because the focus had to be totally there. One wrong move, one wrong step, one misstep, one wrong calculation, and you could have landed up with a limb blown off. So we had to be very careful. And I had a good set of officers. My company commander who was there, Major Jaswinder Singh, very fine guy. He was the guy who ensured there was not a single casualty. He ensured that we stuck to the plan, we stuck to the drills, we stuck to whatever we had been taught, and he did exactly as per that. And God was kind.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience. All this while we've been just reading about it and hearing actually what happened. Since you've been a part of it, it's great to know. Okay, sir, we've heard that you've been helping students prepare for written exams as well. So we would like to take up a few questions which could help the aspirants as serious exam is approaching. So it's said that maths, English, and GS are the main subjects if you want to clear the written exams. So what are your views on this?
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll just take about a couple of minutes to give you a preview as to how I used to ensure and how I used to prepare the candidates. Did that just for a year or so, immediately after my retirement. Then I found that it's been almost 4 years since I've left it. I don't do that anymore. But however, you see, you have to understand a couple of things. One is, if say you are one of the examiners and you've been told by the UPSC, please prepare a English paper or prepare a mathematics paper for CDS, and they will give you terms of reference. They'll say it should be within this parameter. These are the parameters. 12th tak uska syllabus hona chahiye, etc., and all those things. They'll give you. And 3 ghante ka hona chahiye, and maybe all objective type hona chahiye. Itne aapko you need these many questions. Everything has to be objective type. Some calculations, some this, some that. They will give you all these parameters. Now, you are the master of that subject. You are an expert in that subject. So where do you go? How do you prepare this paper? I'll tell you how, if I'm given a job, how I would do this. There are 2 things. One is my knowledge. I'll do that. Whatever little I have, I'll try and see. I'm an expert, supposed to be an expert. So I'll take out some questions from that. Some questions I will start. I will see ki kahan se hoga, what is the type, the pattern. I'll take out some old question papers and see what are the type, what is the pattern, and how are the questions and all I can frame. Some I will take out from certain competitive books, some magazines, some old books, some preparation books, and some course books. Why I'm telling you this is, if I have to prepare a questionnaire, please understand, I will also have to give an answer for that. So I have to give the whole thing. I have to give a solution also. So I'm not going to work doing all these things. So the easier way out, or the more pragmatic way out, I would say, I'd rather put it that way, is to go to these places and find out where I can get these questions from. Because wherever I go to these places, I will definitely have answers also available with me, along with the choices, along with the other choices. So I make my own bank. Because these are the things that I've gone to look for, these are the places that I've seen. This, as an applicant, as a candidate, becomes my study material also. Because now I have gone to that places where this guy has gone, so I'm also going to do the same thing. I'm going to see last 10 years ke question papers. I'm going to go to all the the guides that are there, the perspectives that are there, the pathfinders that are there. Because a subject like maths, you want to revise it, no choice, no 2 choices. Your teachers will always tell you, practice, 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 practice. There's no way. I'm honestly telling you, I was very poor in maths. 11th May, you'll be surprised. The papers had come from the board exams in my 11th, and I had to appear. I got a book prize. I got 85%. Why? because I did each and every sum of that textbook of mine. I solved it personally on in my rough before the exam. So, and I saw that I was not very good at maths, but then, lo and behold, a book prize winner in maths. So, similarly, once you know where these guys are going to pick up his questions from, that becomes your study material, and you have to look at that. And the preparation has to be such. English, for example. Achha, now, if you take the other subjects, why I said, or why I should say that maths, English, and general studies is the important ones is because of two things. One is the weightage of other subjects, physics, chemistry, bio, your political science, economics, is very less. And the course level generally remains the same, which is there or which is given out in the course structure. See, if they're going to ask you PCM, physics, chemistry, bio, rest assured, they are not going to ask you from things which are beyond 12th level. So it is your textbook. Those are textbooks, yes. What they can do is, थोड़ा उसको घुमा फिरा के देंगे, because they will try and, do make आपका थोड़ा दिमाग खर्च करवाएंगे. They'll ask you to apply yourselves. Now to apply yourselves is what these guides will do, the pathfinders and all. They will also do the same thing. So that becomes helpful again for guidance. But at least, although I did say that they will try and, make you or ensure that you apply yourselves, I will still say, please do not look for a gundi in every question. There is no gundi in every question. A question can be straightforward also at times. So in case you find that it is not straightforward and you're not getting an answer, then possibly you can start looking for a gundi. But at the outset, please do not look for a gundi. That is what gundi, I mean, is a googly. It will never say the examiner is not going to straight away throw a googly at the first instance. It will come later on, but definitely not in the first instance. So these three subjects, and second point was that these physics, chemistry, bio, civics, political science, economics, etc., the standard of candidates by and large will remain the same. There's not too much of difference, 19-20, that's about it. But where it's going to make a difference is English, for the basic reason being that the weightage is more. For mathematics, again, it's a different separate paper altogether. I mean, you have no choice. And the thing which a person should be aware of is your current affairs, general studies. So that is where the, will ensure that possibly you not only clear the exam, but you will also get a higher merit, because ultimately it's going to be the merit that is going to decide whether you go to IMA or NDA or otherwise. So that is where the importance of these three subjects come. Okay.
Thank you, sir. And we've never thought this way that, ultimately the source for material is the same for both the aspirants and the one who's setting the paper.
I'll tell you why this comes. Because we in the Forge I'll tell you what Chanakya also said. He says, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. So the examiner is not my enemy, but definitely I have to start thinking of it. I have to start thinking. जब हम अपने orders देते हैं for any operation that we do, we say कि the first thing that we come out with is कि दुश्मन की खबर क्या है, क्योंकि दुश्मन की खबर के ऊपर ही आप अपना plan बनाओगे ना. So दुश्मन, of course, examiner is not my दुश्मन, but definitely he is the guy who's going to prepare a question. So the way he is going to prepare a questionnaire, I am going to be well versed with it. I'm going to ensure that wherever he looks, I'm also going to look there and find my answer. But then again, it's such a vast subject, such a vast bloody preparation. Anything for 12th, anything under the sun can come. So it is, and I'm sure the candidates who possibly have not been able to, write a question or solve a particular question, I'm sure they would have read it somewhere. बोलेंगे वो, यार मैंने कहीं पढ़ा था वो. So when you are going through your study material, you need to ensure, that you retain a lot of things, you grasp a lot of things. एक वो बनाना पड़ेगा the way you can understand कि यार इस question का ये choices हैं, तो ये choices में से this is the correct choice or something. But at the same time, please understand, the examiner will ensure कि ABCD अगर पहले आया था, he will ensure that जो पहले A था उसको D करेगा and बाद में B सर. So you have to be careful of all these things.
So like you said sir कि maths का weightage ज़्यादा होता है and maths and English का but and they're the most important to clear the exam, but for girls maths is not an option. So so how do they prepare? कुछ if you could give some tips or maybe
Okay, see, again, point number one is the same. कहाँ से material आएगा? Leave maths out of it. Now I would suggest one subject. English again is very important. Now, English the things are very common, the topics, the exam, the questions that are generally asked, spotting the errors, things like these synonyms, antonyms, reconstruction of sentences, comprehensions. No, there's a way of solving these things. I'm really honestly telling you, if you're not well versed with the language, 6 months of preparation is not going to do too much. Let's be frank. You have to start at least as early as possible. You have to find out what the thing is, how the thing is. Two things that are going to be very important for the girls: general awareness, that is current affairs, and English. I'll tell you how to go about it. One is, once you start with the English language, basically, what are the synonyms and the antonyms that are going to be asked? See, the examiner is not going to look at making you something like a Shashi Tharoor or something. It's not that. He's going to ask you certain general, everyday use words. So where are these everyday use words come from? They are the ones which are there in newspapers, your magazines, and also the girls, or for that matter, all candidates, must take out at least 20 words a day. Just go through the paper in the morning, jot down 20 words, and whenever they have time, see the meanings. And if you see the thesaurus, you will find 6-7 words more which are synonyms. So that way you have, taken care of quite a few of words like this. If you do 20 words a day, you do it for about 5 months. Oh, well, you're the boss. You can leave a couple of days in between if you so desire. But then you would have definitely increased your vocabulary quite a lot. And if you see that the meaning of the words, you look up in the dictionary, see what is the opposite. So you know the antonym also. So, it becomes simple. They are everyday use words. That is what I keep telling people. I said, don't go in for, don't look at the dictionary and see the words that you cannot spell or you cannot pronounce. They are not the words that they are going to ask the meanings of. So be very this thing. Now, how to work with comprehensions? There are a couple of ways of doing it. There's so many ways of doing it. Comprehensions, I advise or I want the candidates to score 100% marks in comprehension. Why? Because whatever questions are being asked, the answers are there itself in the comprehension. So, आपको ये देखना है कि how do you solve this damn question? So best thing is, if you see the questions, you will find that questions have key phrases, key words. So you read the questions first, and then you read the passage. You underline the questions, your key phrase, and then you see the passage. जहाँ भी वो phrase आता है, बस the answer is going to be somewhere there itself. And invariably, you will also find the questions are in the sequence as the paragraph progresses. So the first question will generally be in the first 2-3 lines. The second question will be in the next 4-5 lines, something like that. So you have to thoda sa dekh do ke, you see how the questions are there in the previous papers, and you will find that it's not a big deal. Then this is the point of general science current affairs. There is a book, there's a magazine, a periodical, which I swear by. I used to prepare my notes to teach my candidates. I used to do my own homework. I used to give them the questions. I used to work with them, and I used to do this. This book this magazine is a periodical, is a monthly issue known as Competition Success Review. This is the one that prepares you actually for all competitions. Understand one thing. Do not restrict yourself कि यार अगर magazine में सिर्फ CDS या NDA के लिए आएगा तो मैं सिर्फ वही पढ़ूंगा नहीं. You see, the English papers, by and large, questions are going to be common to most of the competitive exams. So the question that is being asked, or that is a mock question paper, if it is there for any competitive exam, for example, English, please understand that this might come to you also, because all of them have comprehensions, all of them have antonyms, synonyms, all of them have spotting the errors, all of them have reconstruction of sentences, because English language, they're testing your knowledge on English. So these are the things that is going to tell you what your language is. So, and how do you do it? For example, say the NDA next exam, written exam, is in April, I think, if I'm not wrong. So if it is in April and the previous exam was possibly in September, then get the Competition Success Review, which is a monthly magazine, not very expensive also, from August onwards, the previous August. Please understand that the question papers that the examiner is preparing, and finally, when it comes to the candidate to answer, there is a time left of at least 3 to 4 weeks. Questions prepare karenge, go to the UPSC, they'll see, will take out the best questions from one paper, best questions from the other. It possibly will take a week. Then he'll get it approved from somewhere. And thereafter, he'll prepare that cyclostyling or printing or whatever. And then he has to send it to all these stations, all the centers of India, that will take another. So considering that period in time, you take 3 to 4 weeks that the question paper, right from its inception up till coming out to the candidate, will take about 3 to 4 weeks. So August wala issue is very important because that guy also would only do it up till August. क्योंकि उसने तो prepare करना September तो आया नहीं है तो August में ही करेगा prepare. So that way. So keeping that in mind, those two backdated ones, and then right up till April, you must continue doing with it. So these two things, English and current affairs. And in this Competition Success Review, you will find a lot of questions, also a lot of mock questions, mock papers on geography, military, on history, on civics, economics, and all valid, all up to date. And it covers your national affairs and your international affairs, thoroughly, exhaustively. And it is actually meant for competition, and the questions that one should realize or one should prepare or note or take note of are the ones which are related to defense. Like kal parso ek newspaper mein aaya tha that in Malabar exercise, India has invited Australia also. So Malabar is a naval exercise, and this had come, I think, about 2-3 years. One of the exams may be aaya tha question. So those are the kind of questions. People will not understand what a Malabar exercise is. What is a quad? Who's the? All these kind of questions. So all this would be, and of course, recently, last 2-3 days, all the new Nobel Prize winners ke names वगैरह आए थे. The first women couple ladies also in economics or something, I think उसी में जीते थे. I'm forgetting कौन सा subject था. So everything is given out in a concise manner in this particular magazine. It is a must for all competition, all candidates preparing for any competitive exams.
Thank you so much. That was my next question. I was about to ask for GS that students are not even able to score 20, जो cut-off marks होते हैं.
Yeah.
Now they have an idea of how to start preparing for it actually.
Yeah, and आप देखना आगे पीछे Competition Success Review जो magazine है ना, इसको the candidate must, क्या बोलते हैं उसको हिंदी में, चाट लो, घोट के पी जाओ, something like that. You have to do that, and that's right. And one more thing, that I must tell. Should I wait for you to ask me that? मैं बता देता हूँ since I noted it now. Is negative marking. Is a strict no. If you do not know a question, please do not answer it. You will be surprised. I'm telling you, people will be surprised to know, यार मेरा 60% आ गए थे, यार मैंने 60% correct है यार, तू देख, you see this. I shouldn't have got more than 60%. Suddenly he lands up getting 30%. Why? Because उसने other 40% जो तुक्के मारे थे ना, unfortunately, that has led him. So, you see, we were fortunate. 11th of the 10+2 system was a QR, and there were multiple choices only multiple choice objective type questions, no negative marking for us, 79. So, that way we were better off. But now people have realized they're very strict. So there's no point in giving marks away at all. Please be ruthless in it. Absolutely ruthless. अगर आपको 90% भी sure होता है ना, but still that thing is कि यार नहीं हो सकता गलत हो, please do not answer it. That 60% अगर आपने ठीक किया, that is the one that's going to take you to merit. But if you start doing anything else, another 20%, if you say कि I attempted the paper by 80%, but 15-20 जो है पता नहीं ठीक होगा कि नहीं होगा, just marot tukas, well, you will suddenly find yourself at 40%. So that is where the problem lies. So negative marking is a absolute no-no. But hota nahi hai, you know, you're so, by the time you finish the paper, you say, yaar, sir, I'm so dejected, Mr. Ho nahi raha, ye nahi aa raha. See, questions will be tough. I mean, let's face it. They are going to choose the best guys and they are going to ensure ki the best come for the interview. And you say कि यार कर देता हूँ हो जाएगा भगवान मालिक है and all that. तो यार भगवान वगैरह तो है ना, हर जगह मालिक नहीं बोलने का कोई फायदा नहीं है उनको. कभी कभी करते हैं, but God also says कि मेहनत करो तब करेंगे.
Bhagwan Malik and that wo people they do this also randomly. They wow on something and select an answer कि वही भगवान भरोसे कर देते हैं.
And another thing people, the candidates generally do is they will see first five, 6 questions. They will say, अच्छा पहले का आंसर ये था, दूसरे का भी ये था, तीसरे का भी ये था, चौथे का भी ए ही होगा. अगर मेरे को नहीं आता पर मैं ए कर देता हूँ, you know, something like that. Or suddenly they will see, यार ये 6-7 क्वेश्चन हो गए, अभी तक ऑप्शन डी कहीं भी नहीं आया ऊपर, इसका डी हो सकता है तो मैं डी कर देता हूँ. You know, those kind of things. Avoid it, please. Not required. It's a competitive exam. Remember, you have to score more marks than your neighbor who's sitting beside you. And maybe 3 of them, if it is 1 in 5 or 1 in 6, they're going to choose. You have to ensure that you are one of those guys who have beaten at least 6 guys. So don't do that. Don't do that.
Thank you so much, sir. So, though I have extracted a lot of information out of you, but still I would like you to give a last message to the aspirants, whatever you would like to say.
I just have one particular mantra, you know, for the aspirant, for the candidates. There is no shortcut to hard work. Agar aapko dil se kuch chahiye, please be committed to it. The reason why I left teaching this, because somehow I didn't find the commitment in my students. They said कि अच्छा अगर हम officer नहीं बनेंगे तो हम जवान के through आ जाएंगे, you know, those kind of things. I said नहीं, that is not the thing. If you want to do it wholeheartedly, give everything to it. So that when you come out of the examination hall, you should not say कि यार अगर मैंने कुछ और मेहनत की होती, थोड़ी और मेहनत की होती तो मैं इसमें पास हो जाता. Take just one chance, at the most take 2 chances, but give it your go. For next 6 months, for aspirants in April, please, all your waking hours should be on the study table from right now. Take 1 day in a week break. Otherwise, 6, 7 hours, 8 hours on your study table. Keep reading. There is no dearth of material. I've told you where to look for this material. कहाँ आपको ये चीजें मिलेंगी? Practice, practice, practice. Last 1 month, do nothing but questions. Do nothing, solve questions, solve mock question papers. A lot of them available in the market. Do it, get it online. You can get it from, you know, there's this Arihant organization is one of those booksellers who makes specific tailor-made questions for aspirants for NDA and as well as IMA. Make use of these things. Please do not be stingy. 2, 3 of you, if there's money, these are not very expensive things. The periodical CSR that I was telling you about, just 75 rupees a month. 2, 3, 4, 5 guys can, you know, pool in and 10 rupees apna pay karo, get a magazine and just study together and hope all 5 of you who are studying together, they are there in NDA first term together. We can always hope that. I have all my best wishes to the aspirants and God bless you all. And thank you so much for having me here on the show.
Thank you so much for sharing such valuable information, sir. And sir has not only been a part of our episode, but also he has written a blog for us. So all those viewers who have still not seen the blog, it's available on our website. So you can go through the detailed information he has given, and it's going to be very useful for everyone who's going to read it. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. It was a pleasure, Bhavani, talking to you. Take
Same
care.
here.